Hello, aviators. Welcome to the Aviator's Guide. Thanks so much for listening today. I'm Hollie Bellino, your host, and for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful one. I was able to spend it with my husband and his family in the beautiful state of South Carolina, which is where I'm at now. I found out my mother-in-law's favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. When I asked her why, she said, "I have so much to be thankful for," which is part of the whole point of the holiday, right? In the 19th century, Abraham Lincoln established the holiday to signify unity. So we travel to see our families, biological or chosen, to break bread together and be thankful for not only each other, regardless of our differences, but thankful for all that we have in our lives. While everything may not be going the way you want currently, I fully believe that being thankful for what you do have can really help out your mentality and maybe even bring you what you need in your life. And you can even apply that to your flight training. If you're having a hard time on a topic, struggling financially, or failed a check ride, I'm sure you still have much for which to be grateful. Having the determination to be following your dreams and taking a chance on yourself by going through flight school is something that every pilot can appreciate. Remember, every pilot started out as a student. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. But not everyone can do it, as not everyone is able to get a medical. So be thankful for what you have, where you are in your life, and take it one day at a time. I know I am thankful for a lot of things, including the fact that you chose to listen to my show today. I actually really enjoy helping out the next generation of pilots, which is why I started this podcast in the first place. And because a part of me actually misses instructing full-time. So when you guys have a question or want a particular topic covered, reach out and let me know. I'm here for y'all. If y'all enjoyed last week's episode, including all the gory details on how to get your instrument rating, including the FAA requirements and IFR currency, then go ahead and follow my podcast and subscribe to my YouTube, and tap that bell after subscribing to make sure you're notified of all future episodes, because I know that you want to be. Today, we're flying right back into my mini-series, Ways to Build Flight Hours. There are just so many different ways to build your flight hours that I couldn't put them all into one episode. That would be horrendously long. I've already talked about a lot of great options for you guys to build your flight hours, including pipeline, skydiving, aerial surveying, contract flying, volunteering, and my personal favorite, CFI. And I always reiterate, being a CFI is not for everybody. I loved it, it was fun, I enjoy teaching my students, and I learned a lot along the way. But not all pilots should be flight instructors, and that's okay. So let's see what else is out there for you guys to build your flight time. The first of the two options I'm going to mention today is renting. I know this option isn't for everybody because unlike the other ways I've mentioned previously, this one you will be spending money instead of making it. But of course, you don't have to make this the only way that you build your flight hours. You can do this in addition to one of the other jobs I already mentioned, just to supplement your hours and or get a change of scenery from flight instructing or dropping off skydivers. Sometimes it's just nice to get out and fly for fun and remember why we wanted to be pilots in the first place. Because it's awesome. And to help with cost, you can always split time and fees with a friend. I mean, it doesn't have to be a friend, but it's a lot more fun that way. And when I say split time, make sure you are recording the time in your logbook appropriately. However you decide to fly to log it is up to you, and you can refer to 61.51, which I put the link to that in the show notes, for the details on how to properly log the flight time. But here are some legal examples for you to log flight time with another pilot based off of a 2-hour flight. Both pilots can split the 2-hour flight in half and you both log 1 hour of PIC time, meaning you are splitting the flight and you each are flying as PIC for 1 hour. The second way is if one of you is a CFI, then that CFI can provide a lesson, logging 2 hours of dual given and 2 hours of PIC, while the other pilot logs 2 hours of dual received and 2 hours of PIC as well. Unless that other person is not a pilot yet, then they would not log any PIC time and just log dual received time. And a third example is if both pilots are CFIs, then you can take turns teaching each other. And this is a great way to get feedback as a CFI from another CFI. So you would both log 1 hour of dual received, 1 hour of dual given, and 2 hours of PIC time. So find a couple of flight schools around you to see if one of them has some good rental options for you. Be sure to read the reviews though, in particular to the maintenance for the aircraft. The more we can mitigate flight risk, the better, and one factor of that is flying safe planes. And regardless of where you go, always do a proper pre-flight. It's up to you as the PIC to make sure that aircraft is safe to fly. And most locations that allow you to rent the aircraft will also make you be checked out to rent that aircraft with one of their instructors. And some of them will make you fly a certain amount of time within a given time frame for you to be able to continue renting their aircraft. So if you haven't flown their planes in, let's say, 3 months, as an example, it's normal for them to require you to come back for an additional checkout with one of their instructors before you can keep renting their planes. Besides renting from a flight school, you can always find a flying club. These are pretty cool and also fun. These usually cost money and require a monthly or annual fee in order to use their aircraft and or facilities. You can even sometimes find flight instructors inside these flying clubs for if you ever need a biennial flight review or an IPC. On the flip side of that, if you're a contract CFI, you can also find students to instruct at the flying clubs. If a flying club sounds interesting to you, just Google flying clubs near me to look into it. The Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association also created a website on their page to help you find flying clubs near you. And I put the link to the website in the show notes. When renting aircraft, you will also have to have renter's insurance. If you haven't already had to buy your own insurance for flight school, don't just go out and get some before you start renting. The flight school or flying club you use to rent the aircraft will most likely give you some sort of parameters they require the insurance to cover. So this is a great question to ask those places when you're looking around to find out where you want to rent. There are many different companies you can use to go with for insurance, so just look in your area and see which one works best for you. Some places you can look at for help are AOPA, Wings, or if you're a flight instructor, the National Association of Flight Instructors, or NAFI. It may be sounding like a lot to start renting, but it really shouldn't take too long, and it could be worth it in the long run. The second way I'm going to mention today for you to build your flight time is to buy or build your own aircraft. Having your own aircraft is a surefire way for you to join the Cool Kids Club, and you can fly it whenever and wherever you want to. However, it is very expensive to maintain an aircraft. And if you use this as a way to build your flight time, make sure you're not just going around for fun flights, if you know what I mean. You still need to make sure that you build on your skills. Go work on your landings, go to new airports, review emergency procedures in the air, file instrument flight plans if you're IFR rated, and bring a safety pilot along to practice approaches if it's VFR outside. Use your aircraft to make yourself a better, more proficient pilot. Now, unfortunately, I can't go into much about buying or building your own aircraft, as buying an aircraft hasn't quite been financially available for me and my husband just yet. And I also haven't personally built an aircraft, and I never plan on doing so, because even though I understand and can explain the components and systems of an aircraft, that does not mean I trust myself to build one to fly it. I know my limits, and I am a pilot, not a mechanic. If you want to look into buying an aircraft, there are a myriad of resources out there that you can use, including Facebook pages where you can ask questions to people who've done it themselves. I did include an AOPA website in the show notes that gives you details on how to go about buying an aircraft. And once you have yours, go ahead and give me a call and let's hang out. I also put a webpage in the show notes from EAA, the Experimental Aircraft Association, to guide you on how to build your own aircraft. Don't call me, I can't help. For those of you who decide to go through with buying or building your own aircraft, I love that for you and I wish you all the luck. Also, reach out to me and tell me how it goes. Well, hopefully renting, buying, or building will help you build some of your flight hours. To my awesome YouTubers out there, be sure to like this video if you've made it this far and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And to my podcast listeners out there, y'all rock. Don't forget to rate and review my show and follow it to get updates on all future episodes. Stay tuned for the next episode in this series, as there are still more ways to build your flight hours that we need to cover. Until then, keep enjoying the holidays, guys. Enjoy being around your loved ones, and as always, enjoy the little things in life. And I will see you later, aviators.